Hey, it's H here. Today we're taking a look at technical analysis for SP500. I'll cover wave analysis with the Elliott Wave Theory and provide multiple scenarios price may take and explain why I prefer one count over another. Let's take a look at the different possibilities. Starting here on 15-minute time frame, and yesterday we were looking at this whole structure coming down as a 5-way structure. Now before getting into the count itself, we just take a look at RSI at the moment. We are creating higher lows here constantly, and up to these points we have had these as a multiple different divergences, so at least 2 divergences here. So that has to be giving us some kind of information that pump upwards might be coming. Now if we are going to higher time frame, we could be adjusting this same cycle area, and we could be arguing that okay, we could be already broke or could have already broken this, and we could be targeting this cycle here with that as assumption. But yeah, I think this is somewhat valuable. Looking for a break here, I think we could definitely see us dropping down even more. So I feel like that is something that you should be tracking yourself, I feel like, and setting some alarms on your RSI. Again, this is just modified RSI basically, so you can do this basically on any RSI indicator, just even the default one. Now let's jump into the count itself that I was showing last time. So the idea was that we had a WXYXZ on higher time frame, and this was a 3-way structure for the second X wave, and then we were looking for that Z overall here. We had some targets here for the 1-to-1 around the $3,447, but again, this here was more likely a 5-way structure, and again, we can't end the Z wave here around these lows, because again, this feels like a 5-way structure and looks like a 5-way structure, so we are indeed expecting an ABC structure instead. Now at the moment, again, we would be looking for possible B wave here if the A wave is done. Now let's jump in and zoom in a bit. So in here, again, I think we had covered this before. We had a possibility for this ending diagonal into the 5th, into the 3rd, and then we would have a 3-way structure here into the 4. So this would give us some kind of alteration against this possible zigzag here for that wave 2, creating this as an expanded flat for that wave 4. Now, there are a couple of different alterations on this local count, and one would be saying that we had a 5-way structure in here, ending the count at these lows. We did have a very low RSI here at the lows, and even on some areas taking out the previous lows. So we would need to be looking at higher time frame for this to be confirmed again. The other count would be that we would be in some kind of a larger wave 5, either creating a diagonal in here, or we would be just creating a 1, 2, and 3, 4, 5. Again, today is going to be the FOMC meeting, or the minutes at least, I think, in just a bit. So we'll see how this is going to be turning out. It is not very impulsive looking if we are looking at smaller time frames at the highs. This definitely feels like a 3-way move here. Again, this is the highest high at the moment that we have, and when it feels like 3-way structure, it often is. Say this one could be argued here. This definitely feels like a 3-way structure. So again, if we are looking up, we can see that we have some kind of corrective structures going up most of the time here. This is very overlapping again. So to me, getting up higher would be some kind of corrective pattern if we are going to do that. While again, to the downside, I'm not quite sure as well. It is possible that we could have this as a 5-way structure from the highs here. We did have some divergence here at the lows, giving this as a possible 5-way structure, but again, we could argue then that we have this as an ABC like this, and then another 3-way structure and another ABC like this, so creating a WXY in here. And while WXY is going down, this means again that this is a connector or some kind of part of a larger structure here, possibly even this structure like here. But again, that would not really, let's take a look, actually not be too proportionate. Well, it did not hit the 1.618 here. Let's see, it actually did here. But yeah, it is possible that we did something like that as a connector wave to connect this structure over to something here. Now, the important part is that if we are going to be taking out this high or not around the $3,653, again, that would be the high of wave 4. That would mean that either the wave 4 is completed up in here and wave 5 is done here, or this is not the end of wave 4. Now, if we are saying that it is not the end of wave 4, then we would need to be looking outwards and zooming out and saying that wave 4 could be up in here somewhere. If we are going to take out the previous wave 4 here, this lower minuscule one, and not turning around, I would be very surprised if that indeed was anymore going to be a wave 4, because generally the wave 4s reside in the previous wave 4 areas. So in this case, it would be somewhere around here, and we have done that. So also it has pretty nice proportions compared to the current wave 2, so I just don't have any reason to doubt that wave 4 is not in. Now again, the FOMC minutes can cause a lot of volatility into the markets, so could be something like this happening and just take out the wave 4, and then we need to be adjusting the count, and that is something that might happen. It is very often that on the FOMC and the CPI data releases, there's going to be fake outs, and the eventual push somewhere is just not going to hold, and then we would be just crashing down again. But yeah, we'll see tomorrow how this has formed into, or what it has formed into, and then we can be looking into the possibility if this is indeed a fire wave that could be done or not. Again, higher time frame, A, B. Looking for this B wave until something does not fit into this count anymore. But I feel like that is pretty much everything and all my expectations at the moment for SP500. If you made it this far into the video, I would appreciate the likes. Link to my free Discord server in the description below. And for now, I thank you for watching and hope you have an amazing rest of the day. See you next video. Bye bye.